Thank you, Sarah. Sarah's my coach. Um, so I was, I've had a lot of time to think about what I wanted to say here, and it's been great to kind of think back on my journey. And obviously, I've watched the YouTube video. I got to do that there too, but I get reminders of what I was doing like a year ago, sort of thing on my phone. And I was in Killarney just a little over a year ago. And I told the story on the webinar last night, but when I got to Killarney, it was the first house that I'd stayed at in a long time while we were traveling that had a full-length mirror. And when we walked in and I saw myself in the full-length mirror, I was kind of horrified. And it was definitely one of those moments where it was like, okay, that is not what I thought I looked like, and that is not matching who I think I am. And obviously, we all have to, go through some body image acceptance, but that was definitely reinforcing what I already kind of knew, because as I was hiking, as I was walking, I was having pains. I was going to the chiropractor because I was having issues, and I knew that it was time for me to figure it out and to do some self-care and to put myself first and to find out what it took for me to be my best self. And so that was a year ago though, and I spent the next several months trying and failing, and it was just so hard for me. And I was definitely in a place by spring where I just thought, I don't even know if it's possible for me to lose weight. I don't know if my body, no matter what I do, it will just want to stay heavy. And I really, and I know that sounds crazy, but I'm sure some of you have been there. I really did start to fear that that's where I was at. And so, as I said in the YouTube video, when we were in Portugal, I said, I just need, enough is enough. And I feel like this is too much for me. I need to go home and figure myself out. I need to figure out my relationship with food. And I'm hoping that there's some way that I can do that. And so when I got home, within a few weeks, I was doing a lot of research into different diets and different ways of eating and living. And I was researching even how effective they were in the long term, because I knew that whatever I did, it would crush me if I did something and then it just, maybe it got me halfway to my goal, or it got me there and then I went right back because I hadn't really learned anything. And it was during that time that I came across this program, and I had seen my friends do it. In fact, I'd seen Sarah's sister, who was my business coach, do it and be so successful with it. And I was kind of skeptical, to be honest. I thought, well, I don't know. But when I read that actually it had a really high rate of success and long-term success, I was like, okay, enough is enough. And I was like reading the article, and I immediately texted my friend Amy and said, I want to do what you did. And she put me in touch with Sarah. And so it was awesome. And I just really can't speak highly enough of Sarah and of the program and how great it's been. And that's why I agreed to come on here today. I don't do this program. I mean, I don't coach this program like Sarah does, but I wanted to introduce you all to Sarah because it's been such a blessing in my life. Because not only have I been able to, like I said, break my addictions with food, but I've been able to call Sarah and text Sarah and Marco Polo Sarah, and she's helped me every step of the way. Because in the past, when I'd be like, that's weird, why am I doing that? I never really knew. Even when I was on programs where I would meet with a group or, those sorts of things. But when I would call Sarah, in fact, I messaged Sarah this morning with a question about something, and she had an answer, which is still amazing to me, that she has such a wealth of knowledge and can tell me probably what my body's doing and what I can expect and maybe what I can tweak. And so I've just learned so much, and I'm so excited to turn the time over to Sarah.
Thank you. Thanks, Megan. I just love Megan. I know you guys do too, and that's why you're here, because she's so inspiring. I mean, look at her pictures. Look at her before and after. Can you guys see that? Can you see our screen? Okay, good. She's so cool, and I have just loved being part of her health journey and seeing the changes in her, just not only physically, but like in her heart and in her mind. She's awesome. So let me introduce myself. My name's Sarah Love. Here is me. Let's see. This is me. Now, full disclosure, that is not my real before picture. There's no way when I was my heaviest that I would ever let like a full body picture be taken of me. I had to scrounge around to look and find that, and that's me roller skating at a birthday party with my daughter. But anyway, so let me tell you just a little bit about my health journey and how I became a coach, a health coach. So this all kind of started for me in 2013 when I was diagnosed with thyroid cancer. So now I knew, similar to Megan, like I knew that I was fluffy. I had a mirror, I could see myself. I knew when I went to buy jeans that I was buying bigger and bigger sizes every time. But I still thought that I was generally a pretty healthy person. I didn't feel like awful or anything, but I just kind of thought that tired, rundown feeling, that's just what happened when you get older, right? So I thought I was okay. But after I got treated for cancer, my doctor, I finally had somebody who was actually paying attention to my overall health all the time, not just when I was like sick with strep or something. And he found some things. So he told me that I had a fatty liver and I was pre-diabetic. And it wasn't like I was just barely, under or just over the line, like just over pre-diabetic or, just a little bit of fatty liver. It was like more like I was just under the line. Like I was really close to having some serious problems because of those things. And I had no idea. I was just like, what are you talking about? And probably, and my good cholesterol was bad and my bad cholesterol was not good, or I don't know. Anyway, something like that. So anyway, but he said there was some good news that if I could lose 10 to 15 pounds, I could reverse those situations. And so I was like, okay, awesome. And he's the one that told me about this Habits of Health program. And he said lots of people have success on it. And I was like, okay, that's great. I can totally do this myself. 10 to 15 pounds is totally easy, right? So I was like, I just need to get my keister over to the gym. So I did, and I hired a personal trainer who I didn't like and couldn't afford, but I was like, I'm going to get healthy. So I was going to the gym all the time, and I started playing tennis a lot, although that didn't seem like a sacrifice because I love tennis. And I was literally I was playing like 9 to 12 hours a week of tennis and going to the gym. And all of that got me was like I had a killer serve from it, and my calves got ripped, but now I can't wear boots, which is kind of a bummer. But I did not lose weight. Like none of that resulted in anything. My arms got a little bit more tone. I was happy about that, but really it did not help. So I was like finally accepted the fact, okay, it's got to be something in my diet. So I started trying all these diets, and I finally found one that was a little bit successful. It took months and months, and I was able to lose about 5 to 7 pounds. I can't remember exactly because it was years ago. But it was like all clean eating. I had to do tons of meal prep, and there was no chocolate involved. And you guys, you do not want to know Sarah with no chocolate. Like I was miserable. I was miserable to be around. I could tell that I was being awful to my family. But it was like I could not even control it. I was just hangry. That's the word, right? I was hangry all the time. And all I lost was, at most 7 pounds. And then Easter came and I fell off the wagon. And then I not only gained those 7 pounds back, but then I gained an additional 15 and kept on going. I was like, well, if I'm doing this, I'm doing it all out. So anyway, it wasn't a pretty picture. So finally, what really helped was a friend of mine posted on Facebook that she had lost weight over the holidays. I had a very similar experience to what you're having right now with Megan and her posting her YouTube video. And I thought, okay, I'm going to find out what's going on. So I asked the question, and she told me about this program, which was the exact same program my doctor had told me about 2 years ago. And I was just like, oh, Sarah, why are you so stubborn? So I had a big slice of humble pie, and I got in touch with Gretchen, who you can see on the side of your screen, but I'll introduce you to her in a minute. And I decided to give this a try. And the weight just melted off, and I could not believe it. I was literally like in denial about how successful I was being, because I was just like Megan. I don't know why I thought my body was atypical. Like, I guess we all kind of think we're exceptional. We're the exception to the rule. But anyway, I didn't think it was going to work, so I was skeptical, but it did. And I thought, my family has this history of diabetes. It goes on for generations, and I thought, I've got to become a coach, and I've got to coach my sisters and help them so that they don't get pre-diabetes, because I'm sure that they were going to, or they were already there and just didn't know about it. So that's why I started coaching. So I took some courses from Villanova University and became certified from the McDonald Center for Obesity Prevention and Education. That's a mouthful. But anyway, so that's my story. So I want to just introduce you to Gretchen Fors, who is my health coach. She's the one that helped me get here. And I just want you to hear her story, because her story is even a little bit different from Megan and my story. Because I just want you to kind of get a feel that this program can work for a lot of different people. So we'll hear from Gretchen for just a quick minute or two, and then I'm going to go through and tell you more about the program and give you an overview of how it really works. So Gretchen, we'll turn it over to you.
Thank you, Sarah. There's no better payback for a health coach than to listen to your client's story and hear how this program's changed their life, because my background is that I'm a nurse, and I actually found this program kind of like Sarah the first time at a nurse practitioner conference, and was like, seems reasonable. I really like the data behind it, the studies behind it. And then fast forward, to be honest, I started going to Weight Watchers when my mom took me when I was 12, which created a lot of emotional eating issues, food issues, control issues with food. And I had struggled with my weight pretty much my whole adult life. And sometimes I had better control of it than others. And then I got married and started having babies. And the picture on the left, the before picture, is I have 5 children. At the time, they were 6, 4, 1, 2, and then I had 9-month-old twin boys. And so I actually did a really good job staying really healthy when I was pregnant, and didn't gain too much weight pregnant with them. But then I started nursing twins, and I thought, oh, I'm nursing, I can eat anything I want, right? And so I was eating handfuls of peanut M&Ms all day and driving through the Panera drive-through. And needless to say, by the time they were 9 months old, I weighed more than I did fully pregnant with them. And we had family pictures taken, and we got them back. And kind of like some of us have talked about, like, my current reality in my head was not what that picture looked like. Like, I thought I was fine. I mean, really, literally, I was just trying to survive, right? Like, I was trying to keep 4 kids, 6 and under alive. 5 kids, 6 and under alive, and, just try to take care of myself. But just like everybody else, I had seen a friend posting her pictures, and so I called her and said, okay, I need help. I know I'm a nurse. People think I should know what to do, but honestly, when I worked women's health, the number one question I got was, I'm, tired. I don't feel well. I'm gaining weight. It's got to be my thyroid. And then I would tell them, you know what? Your thyroid's totally fine. You need to eat better, sleep better, take better care of yourself. And then they would ask me, what program should I do? And I'd say, I honestly don't know. If I knew, I wouldn't be struggling still with my weight, in my 30s too. And so, my friend explained the program. I trusted her. I jumped on board, and in 9 months, I lost 65 pounds. We had a conversation like Sarah and I talked about. To be honest, when we first started, I had been such a failure at so many programs before. My real only goal of getting on the phone with her that day was so I could be below 200 pounds. Like, that was all I really wanted to do. And she made me dream a little bit and decide, well, what would I really want? And what I really wanted to be was back to my high school weight. And so I never thought that was possible. I wasn't really thriving, right? I had all these kids. I kind of just didn't know what to do. I could barely feed them, let alone figure out how to feed myself. And then I found this program, and it totally changed my life. My feet stopped hurting. I felt so much better. I had so much more energy. And one time I asked my kids, so what do you like most about mom after this? And I thought they'd say, oh, you look pretty, you're this. They said, Mom, you can get up out of bed in the morning. You're a lot happier to be around, and you're a lot more fun. And I thought that's when you realize that, like, I loved myself at my heaviest weight, but I wasn't my best self at my heaviest weight. And what I really needed to be for myself and for my family is my best weight so that I can be the mom, the wife, the coach that I want to be. And so I decided to start coaching because I realized once again, I got a nursing school to help people and I wasn't really helping a ton of people with what they really needed, which was true health. And so I decided to pay it forward and become a coach. And it's been life-changing because I've seen this program work hundreds of times over and over and over again. It's like the magic bullet. It just works. So super excited you guys joined us today and super grateful for Sarah and Megan for sharing their stories. So I'm excited for Sarah to now tell you more about it.
Yes, thank you, Gretchen. I love that. I love that you said how it affected you as a mother, because I found that exact same thing. I didn't realize things that we were missing out as a family because I was just too tired to even try. Like my husband would say, let's go for a hike. And I'd be like, how far of a hike? Or, well, or we could have movie day on the couch, So now it's like, let's go for a hike. Yeah, where? Which one do we want to pick, So thank you for sharing that. Okay, so let's talk about the program. There are so many aspects to being healthy. It's not just about healthy weight, although that's where most of the people need to start. So we're going to talk about that most today, but there are also other aspects. So there's healthy motion, healthy sleep, healthy mindset, healthy support. And we cover all of these with the program. We start off with healthy weight, and as you're getting to your healthy weight, we address all of these other aspects. So every single person that joins the program, as you've seen, gets a health coach. So we could go on for generations of health coaches here, and it is wonderful to have a health coach. This is one of the things that really sets this particular Habits of Health program apart from any other diet that's out there. You are not left to figure this out alone. Like Megan said, she's had questions before, but never got an answer. And it was just like, oh, well, I guess I'll, one of the mysteries of life. But that's not how it is here. So your coach is there for you to ask questions. They match you to a plan, which is something we'll talk about in just a second. We encourage you and support you on the rough days because that is going to happen. But we're also there to cheer you and celebrate you on the good days. And when you reach your goals and when you reach, stepping stones along the way, because that is going to happen as well. We are on this journey with you. And that is a beautiful thing. The community, we have a really strong support community. You guys, when you're on a journey, when you're on a road trip, it's so much more fun to have a buddy in the seat next to you, right? So much more fun. Well, imagine that, but on a party bus, okay? That's what this health community is like. There is a whole group of people that are doing the same thing. We have the same goals. We're striving for health together. So there's lots of different ways you can get support. You can choose to participate in all of them, or you can choose none of them. As your health coach, of course, I would hope you would choose all of them, but you can pick and choose. You can decide what works for you, what works with your schedule. So the first one is the Habits of Health webinar that happens every week. It's a free webinar. And what we do is we pick one aspect, those things I just showed you, healthy mindset or healthy sleep, whatever. And we focus on that for the week. So, for example, we a lot of times we talk about emotional eating or stress eating or hydration, sleep, and then we have a webinar about that, and we learn how to really deal with those issues. So those are fantastic. We also have local and virtual events, which are really fun to participate, give you a little boost of energy. We have client support groups where you can ask questions. They're private, they're safe. And we have a nutritional support team, which is made up of doctors and nurses that you can call and get answers to your questions. So, that was one of the big draws for me. I know my doctor told me about this, but to know that it's supported by the medical community, that was huge. I don't know why I did not make that connection in my brain. The doctor was telling me about it, but for some reason that it didn't connect until I understood that there was nutritional support team. Sometimes Sarah's a little slow. Anyway, the support community in this program really is unparalleled. I've never seen anything like it. So, fueling your body. So when I was telling you about my journey to health, it really didn't matter how many hours of tennis I was playing or how much time I spent in the gym. It wasn't until I really started fueling my body in the right way that I saw progress. So that phrase might seem a little strange to you, fueling your body. So let me explain that. In America, we have a tendency to get food confused and mixed up with emotions. So we treat it as a reward, right? Like, hey, you did a great job at your basketball game. Let's go get a milkshake. Or we associate it with family time or comfort or love or a solution to boredom or a solution to stress, right? So when what food really is it's fuel, right? It's nutrition, it's vitamins, minerals, so that our bodies can do the basic functioning that it needs to do so that we can do all those other things. So when we talk about eating, we say that we're fueling our bodies so that it allows us to make that little mindset change. It helps us to rethink how we see food and kind of put food back into its rightful place and not give it more power than it deserves. So that way, when we need those other things, comfort, love, etc., we don't turn to food. We go to people, or we, read a book if we're bored. Does that make sense? Okay. So today, as we're discussing the importance of not just eating healthy food, we're going to talk about eating healthy food in an effective way. So most of us were raised on the idea that we need 3 square meals a day. I know I was. I'm sure you guys were too. But there was a study by Dr. David Jenkins from the University of Toronto, and he actually found a better way. So in his study, he had 2 groups. One group was eating 3 meals a day, and one group was eating 6 meals a day. They ate the same foods and the same amount of calories. Just one of them spread it out over the day into 6 different meals. So you can see the benefits of the 6 small meals. They lost more weight. That group was less hungry. They reduced their cholesterol and reduced their blood insulin. Now, the part that I really want you to focus on, though, is this little graph on the left that shows their blood sugar. As you can see, it's just like this nice wavy line, like so smooth, right? So there's no big spikes, and there are no drops in blood sugar. No spikes means that there are no spikes in insulin, which is what signals your body to store food as fat, which is huge. No big drops in blood sugar means that you have less hunger and cravings in between meals. So this eating 6 small meals a day, that is the key to being able to lose weight. We're also able to enter into a very mild ketosis, which is when our bodies can use the fat we have stored for fuel, and then basically we're in a fat burn state and we ultimately lose weight. And the best part about this program is that it's sustainable. Many of the other diets that you see right now that are and hear about that are all the rage put you into a really dramatic or severe ketosis, and they are really difficult to sustain. And actually, if you do them long term, which they were never intended, and originally they were never created to be used long term, but they can actually cause harm to your body. So the thing I love the most about this is it's just the way our bodies were built to function. We're not using any magic diet pills. There's no chemicals. We're just using food the correct way. And then the fat that you've got stored just melts right away. It's awesome. So I know what you're thinking, Sarah, I do not have time to make 6 meals a day, right? Don't worry, I got you. So We have made this process so simple by creating delicious feelings that are scientifically designed meal replacements. We've taken the guesswork out of deciding what to eat, and the meals are so convenient and they are delicious. They're just grab and go. I take them with me in the car. I have them in my purse. I take them when I go shopping. When I volunteer at the school, I've got one with me. You get the idea. And you can see over here, look at this brownie, chocolate out of this shake. I have a chocolate shake almost every morning. And in my first week, I had a brownie like every day. And then I was like, oh, I got to space these out. I called it my bedtime brownie. It was so good. So you can see, and they're sweetened naturally, so there's no sugar. So it's healthy chocolate. So Sarah was very happy. But even better than the convenience factor of being these, take with you things, is that they are a perfect balance between carbs and protein macronutrients. Because they're nutritionally complete and carb protein balance, they help you keep your blood sugar stable. You keep that steady, even line. So it means that they help you curb the hunger and cravings that you are, tend to have when you're doing like diets. So this is not a diet. This is a change in how you eat. So the other thing is you do not have to count calories or figure out your macros. And that was huge for me, because if I had to do that, let's just be honest, I would not do that. I don't have time for that. I'm just like you. I don't have time. I'm too busy for that. So as you can see, so I don't know, let's switch over to the bullet points, because I'm so like, ooh, that food looks good. I'm like looking at the food, but let's look at the bullet points for a minute. You can see that this is not a one-size-fits-all plan. It's a program that can accommodate anyone, but each plan is customized according to your needs and goals. So you can see we have a nursing mom's plan. We have a plan if you're diabetic. We have a plan for teens. There's a plan if you need to lose more than 100 pounds, or if you need to lose less, or if you want to gain weight. We have clients that want to bulk up. So we can customize this according to what your goals are. In fact, I remember one day I was coaching Megan, and she was starting to increase. She was feeling so good. She lost a lot of weight, and she was increasing her hiking, and she was hiking every day, but she'd hit a plateau. And she's like, I don't know, maybe I need to stop hiking so much. She thought maybe that was the cause of her plateau, that there was some sort of imbalance there. And I said, Megan, we do not adjust your life to fit the plan. We adjust the plan to fit your life. And we did. We just made a little tweak to what she was doing, and then she was able to get right back into fat burn and start losing weight again, and went on her merry little way, hiking all the while. And it works like that. We fit this to what you need. So, and that's where your coach comes in. I think I mentioned that on the coach slide. This is how you have your coach fit the plan for you. And the cool part is that that little benefit of having your coach, that's no additional cost. I don't know if I mentioned that before. And all of the options are all natural. There's nothing added, no chemicals. I think I said that. So people ask me all the time, like, what's your favorite part about this program? Well, this is it. It is that it is predictable. If you follow the plan, you eat what's on the plan, and you stick to your coach, you're going to lose weight. You're going to see results. And it's amazing. So what's next? So Gretchen, will you post in the comments the link? And there's a link to my calendar. So you can meet with me or Gretchen, because there's so many people that are loving this, loving what they're hearing, and they want to get on board, that my schedule is getting filled up quickly. So Gretchen has graciously offered to help meet with people, but I'll be your coach. But Gretchen will help you figure out what program you need to be on, what plan you need to be on, and listen to your goals, and we'll conference later if you need to meet with Gretchen, because there's not time in my schedule. But that's the next step, is to meet one-on-one with either me or Gretchen and see what plan will work for you, how we can get this plan to match up with your goals so that you can reach your health goals. So let me stop sharing my screen. Oops, not a new share. We're going to stop sharing.
So you forgot to tell them the most exciting part about the cost, because I know they're all asking
Oh,
that.
yes. I was just going to go to the chat and see what what the questions were. Okay. So let's talk about the cost. So every plan is slightly different. And so the cost varies person to person based on what your needs are, right? Just like everybody's grocery budget is different. Most people find that it's really cost neutral because you're just changing your grocery store from one place to another. Instead of shopping at like Fred Meyer or Piggly Wiggly or wherever your grocery store is where you live, you're instead shopping from us and buying your food from us. So, but like for Megan, the plan that she was on is about $75 a week. So that kind of gives you an idea. It could be a little bit under or a little bit over, probably not too much over, but maybe a little bit under when you start off.
And it was worth every penny. Oh my goodness, that was the best investment I ever made. I was kind of scared and like, oh, okay, I'm going to have to start spending this. This is different than what I usually do. But if I had known that it would work so well, I wouldn't have been scared at all. It was every penny. And it still is. I think like Sarah, I found things that I love and that are my go-tos. I have them in the glove compartments of my cars, in my bags. I take them with me, and I love that I know that all of my nutrition is met, that because they do have all the vitamins and minerals I need, that it's got that perfect balance. And I remember when I first started, before I actually went forward with it, I tried to like see if I could kind of pull it together on my own, knowing those sorts of things. And it was like, I can't, it's just so easy. And that's what I needed. And I needed to not have to make all of those decisions all the time. And that really was, I think, the secret to my success.
Yeah. That's awesome. And the cool thing about it is I saw some comments in here about maintaining weight, and you generally are not in weight loss phase forever. I mean, if you were, you would be melting away to nothing, right? You don't want to lose all of your body fat. You don't want to be stick figure. And so you are in weight loss phase until you reach your goal. And then you transition from that to regular food, and then you maintain that weight for the rest of your life. And I teach you how to do that. I teach you how to transition, and I teach you how to maintain. And Gretchen's been maintaining for 3 years. I've been maintaining for about 1.5 years. My husband did this program. He's been maintaining for a year. He started last January. He finally decided after seeing me, he's like, okay, I think I should do it. And I was like, okay, if you want to. I'm not pressuring you, but if you want to. So anyway, you guys, thank you so much for being on the webinar today. I want to be respectful of your time because we promised you a half hour. So we'll let you go. I will send you guys the recording. And in that recording will also be a link to my calendar. So you'll have it again. So that will be in your email. So be watching for that. And if you have any questions that we didn't address, because I was talking and not reading the chat, but it looks like Megan answered a lot of questions. So thank you, Megan, in the chat, and Gretchen. Feel free to email them to me. So, okay, you guys have a great day, and thanks for being on.
Everybody.